Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So we've got some horses that have caught my eye this week, including one from the handicap mark changes, and we'll start off with that horse. That horse was Stone of Destiny, who's dropped another £3 down to 87 after disappointing on the all-weather at Newcastle. Now, this was his first run back on the all-weather for a long time. You can see his last time before that was back in April 2019, and his form was indifferent then on the all-weather. It wasn't always great. So I want to kind of forgive him that run and suggest that, you know, he's probably better on the turf now. And he's dropping down to a really interesting mark off just 87, having been, you know, in the 100, 108, 109, 110. And I wonder whether next time in a handicap, back on turf, whether there's a race for him. And I think I found a couple that, if I was the owners, where I would be sending him. And I'd be trying to look at Goodwood, because his form at Goodwood is quite good. 3 runs ago now, he was carried right when he finished 6th. He ran okay. That came off 94, and he only went off 11-2 that day, off 94. If he returned, you know, in a similar race off 87, and you could get 11-2, I think he would be a good price, because I think he'd be handicapped now to go very close. If he gets all the things to fall right for him. He does need a strong pace and to be finishing strongly. Now, there's a couple of races that caught my eye. There is the 5 furlong 86 to 105 race on Tuesday of the Goodwood. That would certainly suit. You know, he would obviously get in, just being rated 87. He'd be right at the bottom of the handicap, which I think would be very interesting. Or they could wait until the Stewards Cup consolation race. He's not going to get in the Stewards Cup this year because he's so low. I think he'll get in the Stewards Cup consolation race. This is called the Coral Stewards Sprint Handicap Stakes consolation race now. I think he would get in that. Off a low mark. You know, his form is quite good at Goodwood, as I said. He has finished 6th in a Group 2 last year, back here, over 5, and he ran okay. He has also finished 2nd before in a handicap of 99. He's running off 87. He's finished 8th in the Stewards Cup itself of 100. You know, if he was £13 lower that day, he would have gone very close. I know he's older and he might not have the same ability, and he may just be, you know, massively on the downgrade now. But I just want to give him one more chance at Goodwood. And I hope he runs in this race here, personally, the 5 furlong sprint. Just because I think they will go fast enough, and his ability or previous ability will come to the fore off a very low weight. From this week, there's a few horses that have caught my eye. There's some winners, some that got beat, and we'll talk about them now. The first one was Western Stars, who won at Pontefract despite going down the inside. Now, if you watch the races at Pontefract, they all needed to come over to the near side as they came into the straight. Western Stars didn't. He went down the inside under William Buick and yet still won. I think Western Star could just be progressive. And I think he's won that despite being in the wrong part of the track. So Western Stars, I think, is worth adding to your Nagme as a horse who I think can go and win again in a similar race. They don't need to jump up too much. Just find another race like he ran in on Monday, and I think he would go very, very close again. Second horse I wanted to talk about was Devoted Poet. He looks very tricky. You can see he hasn't won yet. He was far too keen early on. He hung off the bend. He either needs headgear or he needs gelding. I think I'll be very interested to see what happens with Devoted Poet after this run, and where we see him next, and if he has some headgear on. The next horse I wanted to talk about was Shaladar, who personally I think was given a ride where the jockey thought he was going to win it comfortably. I think Kevin came down the outside at Hamilton on Tuesday. I thought he was going to win. I think he thought he was going to win. He didn't see. I think it was Shy. Was it Shy? Spy. nipping up the inside. And I think Shaladar just got caught out a bit there. Kevin Stock got caught out. Didn't pick up as expected afterwards. I think Shaladar can certainly bounce back next time and go back into the winner's enclosure with a slightly more of a stronger pace and something to run it a little bit further. I think he just ended up getting towards the front too early. Jockey tried to wait and got caught out by Spy down the inside. Beamish. I want to talk about Beamish. Very impressive at Roscommon. When winning the Lenabane Stakes, I think it's called. Let's just quickly load it up. Lenabane Stakes, I'm going to go for that. Now still unbeaten, 3 from 3, has won over 1 mile and 4, has also won over 1 mile and 6, which I think is very interesting. As an unexposed horse like that, surely you've got to be aiming at the Ebor. Huge amount of prize money, obviously, and we don't know how good Beamish is. You know, he could still have £5-6 in hand, which he'll probably need to win an Ebor, because you generally find there's a couple in there that are well handicapped. But if he does have that in hand, then he's going to go close. You know, the Irish St Ledger would probably be a future target as well, but go and get the prize money of the Ebor first. I know he's inexperienced, but yeah, that's where I'd be heading with Beamish if I owned or trained Beamish. The next one I want to talk about, I think, could be good. I think Mistress Emma was expected to run well here for Nick Anderson, but I also wonder whether there was a little bit of a plan in the fact that they retired Bouvidaire on the same day, or Nick Anderson did and JP did. Now, I know Mistress Emma's not owned by JP yet. I thought she beat the right horses in this mare's bumper, and she's only 4. The other 2 were 5 that went with her. Say You, Say Me, the favourite for Gordon Elliott, travelled nicely, picked up through the field, and Walk of No Shame had achieved a decent figure. This is a decent figure, this 137.9. The form's strong, and yet Mistress Emma, I think, has won it a lot more comfortable than it looked as well, because I think she got there too early. She's only 4, she's going to progress. I've just got a feeling that Mistress Emma could be significantly above average, and I think she's running an above average maiden there, or mare's bumper. So Mistress Emma is one that I think could be, you know, next season, the season after, she'll be a Saturday horse over the jumps. I really think she could be that good. One horse from yesterday that got beat, that with a clear run goes very, very close, and it's Grey Fox for the in-form Emma Lavelle. Grey Fox would have was starting to make her way through, or her way through, or his way through. His way through at Kempton, when not getting a run at all. I think he was getting there to go very, very close. Back on the turf wouldn't be an issue. Stick him on the all weather wouldn't be an issue either. But he's definitely one that I think is in a rich vein of form. And when you look at his form initially, you'll see a 1 and then an 8, and you'll be disappointed with the 8 and probably discount him too quickly. Don't discount Grey Fox next time out. 2 other horses that were mentioned. So I made a tweet yesterday saying that I had 2 Eyecatchers so far today. Bobby Watson came back with Ferrari Queen. He thought looked a nice one on Saturday. And Jordan guessed at the 2 of Grey Fox and Julia Augusta. Spot on with Grey Fox, as I've just mentioned. Yeah, I understand about Julia Augusta. She did look very impressive, and she beat the right horses. You can see she's beaten the Cubana Habana, who had set a decent figure. It's a decent figure. It would need to be better. Obviously, Julia Augusta has beaten them out of sight as well. But yeah, she's obviously well above average as well. As for Ferrari Queen, I wasn't as sure here, because she beat Exposed, who that performance figure isn't great, and Pending Appeal, who'd had the 2 runs, they weren't great. I'm not sure this was the strongest maiden fillies race yet anyway. So if I was to just pick one of those 2, it would definitely be Julia Augusta, which Jordan suggested as a one that he liked. So there's a few thoughts from this week, a few horses to add to your Nagme. hopefully we can highlight a few subsequent winners.